Welcome back everybody, and we are continuing now to our application questions. Now our application question is normally stated with a scenario or a case study. So let's get started and look at our first question. Now our first question always, and you will see the questions always start like this: study the following examples and indicate whether it is a vision, a mission statement, a goal or an objective. So let's see what they gave us here. The first one states, Sandra, clothing manufacturer, wants to be globally competitive. We also then see Sandra wants to provide quality clothing and have a wide variety of clothing items. Sandra wants to increase her sales by 5%. And Sandra will increase training of her staff as well as use more reliable suppliers. Now we can remember that the vision statement gives us the dream of the business, what Sandra wants to achieve with her business. The mission statement says what she wants to produce or what service she wants to provide. And then the goal says what is her long-term dream for her product. Objectives is how we want to achieve these goals. So when we take a look again at Sandra's business and these statements they gave us, we will then see that the first one, Sandra, clothing manufacturer, she wants to be clothing competitive. So this is her dream. So obviously this then will be her vision. The second statement specifically refers to the product, which is her clothing. So this is what she wants to achieve with her clothing, or what she wants for her clothing, her dream, you may say. And this, therefore, is her mission statement. Then we will see question C says that Sandra wants to increase her sales by 5%. This is clearly her goal, what she wants to achieve with her product in the long term. And then D will give us how she wants to achieve it. She wants to increase her training of her staff and use more reliable suppliers. So this then will be her objective. All right. So when they say indicate, you can only name. Is it a vision? Is it a mission statement? Is it a goal? Or is it an objective? Okay, so let's take a look at our second application question. And in this case, it's a scenario about Thomas Butchery. So they always start with the introduction to the question. Question 2, read the following scenario and answer the questions that follow. So let's take a look at this scenario about Thomas Butchery. Thomas produces and sells a wide variety of meat products. He employs 3 workers to help him in the butchery. He had to get a loan from ABC Bank, and Thomas also has a website where online orders can be placed. Now they state the question, identify 3 organizational resources, not structural culture, they want the resources used by Thomas Butchery. But watch out, because then the question continues. Motivate your answer by quoting from the scenario, and this is always a catch 22 for you guys. So let's look at this closely. So firstly, they want us to identify the resources. Now, if we can remember, there is physical, human, financial, and technological resources. So let's take a look. Thomas produces and sells a wide variety of products. This is only an introduction. But the second line states, he employed 3 workers to help him in the butchery. So he has now employees, and these employees we refer to as human resources. So this is our first resource. Now they said we must motivate by quoting. So watch out for a quote. A quote has to be specifically from the scenario, and it has to be word for word the same sentence, and the whole sentence must be quoted. So you will see he employed 3 workers to help him in the butchery. The motivation I placed there is exactly the same wording as from the scenario. Okay, so that is our first resource. The second sentence, or the sentence continues, we said he had to get a loan from ABC Bank. So that loan is we had to loan some money, and money is our financial resources. So let's take a look at that, financial resources. So what will our quote be then? Yes, our quote will be, he had to get a loan from ABC Bank, exactly as it was stated in the scenario. And then the last one, or the last sentence in the scenario says, Thomas also has a website where online orders can be placed. So a website refers to technology. So it's our technological resources. And again, we quote exactly as it is stated in the scenarios. Thomas also has a website where online orders can be placed. So identify means we have to get the answer out of the scenario. Only 3, don't give more than 3 then, and quote exactly as it is given in the scenario. Okay, so let's move on then to our next application question, where they again ask, identify. So we have to use the statement or the case study or the scenario to answer this question. Identify the business function that Tembe Catering has applied in each of the following statements. So let's take a look. The first one says Tembe buys, so that is already a clue for you as to which function this will be, all her resources from trusted suppliers. So this will obviously be the purchasing function. Okay, this is the first one. Let's look at the second one. Number B says Tembe got 3 investors, that's a clue, to buy shares in the business. So investors in buying shares means they are giving money to the business or they are investing capital in the business. So this obviously, when it refers to money, it refers to finances or the financial function. Okay, then let's look at C. Tembe did market research. There is our clue, market research, to identify our target market. So we remember market research refers to or are done by the marketing function. Okay, and the last one, oh no, there's no last one. Then we continue to question 3. I just want to conclude here. The business functions then, remember there's 8 of them. Do not confuse them with maybe the environments. Always read the question carefully. As you will see in this question, they state specifically you have to identify the business function. And look for clues in the question to which function it will be. So in question 3, they use a case study about Buddy Music Instruments. So let's read the case study quickly. Buddy Mason is a musician and an instrument maker. He is a small business owner. His 2 employees have to dress according to the required dress code. He is a very good manager and leader. And then the question asks, identify the business environment applicable to BMI. Now when we look at the scenario, or the case study rather, we see that they refer firstly to the dress code. Now if you can remember, the dress code is part, let me just cross that again, is part of our organizational culture. Okay, and then they also refer to manager and leader, which is management and leadership. And these are both in the micro environment. So be careful, do not mix up business environment with business function in the questions. They are asking for the environment. So the answer can only be micro, market, or macro environment. But when we look at the case study and we see organizational culture being addressed and management and leadership style, then the answer can only be the macro environment. Okay, because the question states identify, there is no need to elaborate on this question. And that is it for our application questions. Before we continue, it's time for another ad break. See you soon.